celebrating the Easter with our Easter parade presentation by our very own Dr. Rabbino. Thank you.
Well, for those of you that are new to the Stratford and haven't attended a Friday at 5 event, I just want you to know there are no rules, except no throwing vegetables. But in addition, if you want to sing, that would be great. If you want to leave, it's okay, but my wife will take your name down. Anyhow, I don't know how you feel about it, but I feel like we need a little uplift these days. And the joy of Easter and the wonderful music that's been written about Easter and the fabulous film of Easter Parade always seems to be very buoyant and exciting. And of course, it's so interesting that Irving Berlin, who wrote all of these songs, was a poor fellow who, born in 1888 in the Russian Empire, but ultimately made his way to America and established himself and his musical talent, and 1,500 songs that bear his name. Amazing. And how could a little boy from the Russian Empire adjust not only to American life, but he became known as the King of Tin Pan Alley. To me, that is a phenomenon. And do you know where Tin Pan Alley is? It was on 28th Street in Manhattan, on one block where there were composers and publishers that established themselves and gave rise to a lot of this wonderful music that we're going to tackle tonight. So, I hope you enjoy. Just informed that there's going to be an Easter parade tomorrow from 9 to 12. Isn't that right?
But You have to
And
be under 10.
right here in Central Park. Some of us will show up in our pajamas. (1954) wrote the song "No Business Like Show Business." (1926). George, does that sound familiar to you? Blue skies smiling at me, nothing but blue skies I see. Blue days, all of them gone, nothing but blue skies from now on. Never saw the sun looking so bright, never saw the when you're in love, my mind, how they fly. All of them gone, nothing but blue skies from now on. Well, I know it'll surprise you to know that I especially relate to this song called "I Love a Piano." I should tell you something about Irving Berlin. Apparently he was a terrible piano player. And he only played in one key, which was F sharp, if you even know what that is. But apparently there was a device that could be managed with a lever on the piano that could shift the key. So he had one of those pianos where the lever would shift the key, and he never had to learn anything other than F sharp. That was a piece of information that I didn't have before. As a child, I went wild when a band played. How I ran when the man, when his hand swayed. Clarinets were my pets, and the slide trombone I thought was simply divine. But today when they play I could hiss them. Every bar is a jar to my system. But there's one musical instrument that I call mine. Well, I love a piano. I love a piano. I love to hear some genius play upon a piano, a grand piano. It simply carries me away. I know a fine way to treat a Steinway. I love to run my fingers o'er the keys, the ivories, and with the pedal I love to meddle. Not only music from Broadway. I'm so delighted if I'm invited to hear the longhand genius play. So you can keep your fiddles and your bow. Give me a P-I-A-N. Oh, 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 oh. I love a piano. In our flyer about this event, we sort of mentioned Fred Astaire and Judy Garland and how great they are. If you've never seen the film Easter Parade, you must do it because it's got such great songs and music and performances. And we're a couple of swells. We stop at the best hotels. We much prefer up for tea. But how are we to get there? No siree. We would drive up the avenue, but we haven't got the price. We would skate the avenue, but there isn't any ice. We would ride on a bicycle, but we haven't got a bike. So we'll walk up the avenue. Yes, we'll walk up the avenue. Walk up the avenue's what we'd like. Wall Street bankers are we, with plenty of currency. We'd open up the safe, but we forgot where we left the key. Well, we're the favorite lads of girls in the tennis ads. We'd like to tell you who we kissed last night, but we can't be cads. The Vanderbilts are waiting at the club. But how are we to get there? That's the rub. That's the rub. We would sail up the avenue, but we haven't got a yacht. We would drive up the avenue, but the horse we had was shot. We would ride on a trolley car, but we haven't got the fare. So we'll walk up the avenue. Yes, we'll walk up the avenue. We'll walk up the avenue till we're there. There's a song called Shakin' the Blues Away. And the person that it brings to my mind is Ann Miller with the legs that never quit. Beautiful woman and a fabulous dancer. Anybody here that knows something about trains? Well, we got Bob Sharp here. You didn't wear your train cap though, did you?
No, I wasn't warned.
When the midnight choo-choo leaves for Alabama, I'll be right there. I'll have my fare. When you see that rusty-haired conductor man, he'll grab you by the collar and he'll holler, Alabama, that's where you catch the train that takes you back again. Song is You're Just in Love from the show Call Me Madam, starring, of course, Ethel Merman. I tried listening to Ethel Merman. My hearing aids screamed. They said, take them out.
I'll take it.
The girl that I marry will have to be soft and as pink as a nursery. A girl I call my own will wear satin and laces and smell of cologne. girl I can carry, a girl that I marry will be. The show Annie, Get Your Gun. I don't think that was endorsed by the NRA at that point. Folks are dumb where I come from, ain't had any learning. Still, they're happy as can be, doing what comes naturally, doing what comes naturally. Folks like us would never fuss with schools and books and learning. Still we gone from A to Z, doing what comes naturally, doing what comes naturally. You don't have to know how to read or write when you're out with a feller in the pale moonlight. You don't have to look in a book to find what he thinks of you and what is on his mind. That comes naturally. My uncle down in Texas can't even write his name. He signs his checks with X's, but they cash them just the same. If you saw my mom and pa, you'd know they had no learning. Still they raised a family, doing what comes naturally. Uncle Jed just stayed in bed. He never saw a doctor. Well, he just died at 93, doing what comes naturally. Well, the biggest song that Irving Berlin ever wrote, he wrote in 1911. There have been many iterations of it, and that was a time when they made a lot of copies of sheet music. And the number of pieces of sheet music that were sold at that time was 1 million. Unbelievable. And everybody wanted a piece of that. You know what the song was? Come on. I'll give you a hint. Alexander? Okay. Come on along. So where did that little guy from Russia come up with something like that? Well, George, you know, I told you he was born in 1888, and he lived to be 101. I'm sure that doesn't impress the hell out of you. There was a show called Top Hat, 1935. Ginger Rogers and Fred Astaire. Isn't it a lovely day to be caught in the rain? Like a melody. A pretty girl is just like a pretty tune. I mentioned the show Top Hat, 1935, and the top song from that show was called Cheek to Cheek. That's the way you all are right now. Well, if we were going to try to do all of Irving Berlin's songs, I think I mentioned that he wrote 1,500 songs. So we'd have to get another set of hors d'oeuvres, I guess. But I don't think anybody's ever survived 2 sets of those hors d'oeuvres. 1925, Irving Berlin wrote a song for his wife called Always. May not be fair, always, and I'll be there, always, not for just an hour, not for just a day, always. Anybody know that song? Well, I'll be a fella with an umbrella. Fella saved his love for a rainy day. I've got my love to keep me warm. Got my love to keep me warm. Well, this has been a little bit of a sampling of the production of a genius, Irving Berlin, and who couldn't really play the piano. Amazing. I mean, there's hope for me, I guess. Stepping out with my baby. Think you could sing this with me? They say that falling in love is wonderful. It's wonderful. So they say. And with the moon up above, it's wonderful. It's wonderful. So they tell me. Leave your house one 1932, there was a show that he wrote called Face the Music. And this is a sort of endearing song called Let's Have Another Cup of Coffee. Why worry when skies are gray? Why should we complain? Let's laugh at the cloudy day. Let's sing to the rain. Songwriters say the storm quickly passes. That's their philosophy. They see the world through rose-colored glasses. So why shouldn't we? Well, just around the corner, there's a rainbow in the sky. So let's have another cup of coffee, and let's have another piece of pie. Trouble's just a bubble, and the clouds will soon roll by. So let's have another cup of coffee, and let's have another piece of pie. Let a smile be your umbrella, for it's just an April shower. Even John Rockefeller is looking for a silver lining, and Mr. Herbert Hoover says now's the time to buy. Oh, let's have another cup of coffee, and let's have another piece of pie. Somehow history seems to be repeating itself, doesn't it? This song is called The Song Is Ended. when somebody wrote an article about Irving Berlin, and they made a comment that he was an important part of American music, Jerome Kern spoke up, the great composer himself, and said, he's not a part of American music, he is American music. And I hope you got a little flavor of that from a fraction of what this man wrote. So, George, he lived to be 101. Do you want to make a comment?
Get started.
Did you follow the?
It's just a number.
Did you follow the Irving Berlin diet? Well, quite an achievement too. But what a variety that he wrote. So I don't know. I'm feeling a little patriotic right now. So, if you will allow me, this man who wrote songs from other backgrounds, including White Christmas and all the Easter music, not something that was in his background or his education or training. But how about this one? Thank you all for participating, and I hope you enjoyed it.
Thank you, Dr. Rabbino. I hope you all enjoyed that. Yes, it was wonderful. Thank you. And thank you for coming, and I hope you all have a wonderful Easter. Thank you.
I haven't finished my wine.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, of course. Nicely done, Pop. Can I do something for you? You don't have to scooch it in. Can I bring this upstairs for you?
I love you. It was wonderful.
Thank you, Michael. An outstanding performance.
I know, huh? He's always willing to put on the Ritz.
There's a white wine in the refrigerator. So,
You want me to bring it down?
yeah, you have your key.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, that'd be great.
Okay, I'll leave this for you on the piano, yeah?
Fine.
Thank you.
Well done. Well done, Pop. Mom, you want to hang on to your papers?
Yes, I do.
Thank you, Michael. That was really good. Very enjoyable.
Even though he's always jazzing, right?
Are you ready to go to war now?
Oh, yeah. Whatever it takes.
Yes.
I don't know who we
Well, we all look up to you because we know you see more than we have, and you.
and survived.
That's right. With your sensibility. That's the most important thing.
Yeah. Well, life's good for all.
Yes.
We're richly blessed.
Yes.
This name of my body, all of ours.
Did Tony get here tonight?
Yes and no. He and Tim's son.
What?
He and Bob's son, Tim,
Yes.
Tim's son. And so they were going to go out next year. And I said, I forgot to tell them that Dr. Rabbino was there. So I let the word out. So we'd saved all the seats because I said, and I told Adam, I said, and they're all going out tomorrow together.
Yeah, I know that.
And I'm so mad because I know Tony would want to. He's probably keeping
Yeah,
quiet
sure.
because, anyway,
That happens.
those songs were just, I hate to think I'm that old and all of those really were. But thank you so much.
You were so good. I mean, up to your standards as usual.
So, you know,
Lucky all. And you